what an event Confluence has become over the years. I see a lot of excitement around it. Over the years, it has become better year after year. I see bigger stage, bigger display panels, graphics, everything is better compared to last year. And if not for Confluence, I see a lot of my colleagues that I see once in a year. And this has become the platform for us to come together. If not for Confluence, what else do we have to come together? So there is also an opportunity for us to thank the folks behind Confluence. Zinnov, let's give a round of applause. Good. Destiny taking control. Why is it part 2? Last year, an eminent panel of juries constituted by Zinnov awarded us with the company that transformed the most in a short period of time. And consequently, I was asked to come on stage and share what that story was. And the question now is the story continuing? Is there something more to it? Have we progressed? How do we see the future? I resonate with a lot of the arguments that the panel had. As I talk about this, our story, you will see some relationship there. And for the benefit of those that couldn't attend the event last year, just to set the context, this was our journey for the past 7.5 years. EMC was late to the market here in terms of the center. Since the time we called ourselves the Center of Excellence, we had 2 distinct phases. You may relate to some of it because you yourselves are going through this evolution. But the difference here is, 1, our own aspiration. 2, to achieve that aspiration, the self-empowerment. How we took control of our destiny without asking for or waiting for anybody's permission. So that's the difference in the story. The first phase was really not having any egoistic religious conversation with our stakeholders about what we will do and will not do. We went after scale. The reason was we believed scale was important for us to have the right seat at the table and also self-create resources to achieve our aspirations. And as we did that, we also focused on certain core values as well as fundamental talent important for us to achieve bigger things. And a few years down the line, we realized that it's important we shift the gear and talk about or think about totally different set of things if we have to be strategically relevant within our company and in the ecosystem. So as you see, we started focusing on totally different set of initiatives. And as we went through that process, yes, we did make some progress. We had hired a lot of great talent that is passionate about innovation. Yes, we had some wins on the board, a lot of matured products, ownership, responsibility, accountability moved here, and we started influencing our product roadmaps. Of course, IP generation more in terms of the number of patents and disclosures that we file in hundreds per year. All that has gone up, but there was still a gap. And in the aspiration to contribute to the revenue, we did have some early wins in the go-to-market space. With that, the gap that we had, are we really influencing the revenue? Are we really helping create new opportunities for our company? That was the real gap. With the examples that we created, we gained a new charter last year. That is an official role in influencing our revenue growth in the market that we are part of, which is the APJ market. As a result, my role became not just India as head of our centers in APJ market, including all of our presence in China. With that, you can influence revenue, but you have to have something to influence revenue. So how do you influence revenue? Through growth and innovation. Innovation oriented towards growth, more in terms of identifying gaps in our offering in the market, and newer kind of market-specific opportunities that we can co-create or work with customers to create bigger wins in the market, and that's what we collectively call as growth and innovation. All of that put together helped us, of course, certain sort of impact and also some challenges as well. But that official charter helped us create a whole new platform. If you ask our product business units, our service business units, their concern is what kind of influence you have on my product revenue, on my service offering revenue. How about my priorities? Those are the challenges. I'm sure those are familiar questions that you all have, but official charter allowed us to have the right platform to have the conversation and find a solution. If you ask our field organization, yes, they will be willing to talk to you only. Their attention span is very short, you know that. The sales guys are, if you are helping them gain something in this quarter, they'll be willing to talk to you, right, to achieve their revenue goals. Yes, there were a lot of excitement, but that excitement will continue only if we help create net new revenue opportunities or help accelerate the sales cycle, the closure cycle. Yes, within our organization, there are a lot of excitement. Yes, people see the real benefit of their role, how the product that they are developing or the service that they are delivering and helping solve, how it is helping solve customer problems in real time. But it also unearths another challenge that we have internally. Do we have what it takes in terms of our capability to achieve that? To step up and have the right level of conversation. So, with the help of the platform that we gain, we were able to find answers, solutions. A lot of it is work in progress for sure. So what did we do for the last 1 year? We organized ourselves, our efforts into 3 buckets. Some of it would look like, isn't it a typical sales process or sales issue? But think about this, the difference that we bring to the table to our sales folks. When a sales guy, even the pre-sales engineer, have a conversation, that becomes a sales conversation. When you have a product architect having a conversation with the customer, it's a technology knowledge exchange. Look at the kind of credibility it builds with customers. So we focused a lot of our effort on transactional aspect, which is we call product evangelism, to build mind share for our products and technologies, our architecture principles with our customers. The second bucket of activities that we focused on was how can we help create the kind of wins that EMC couldn't go after, to help create architecture mind share for EMC within the marketplace here. And how can we do that with the kind of talent we built with 7,000 people in China and India. And the third is what kind of strategic bets that we can take, 1 or 2, that creates long-term opportunities to grow our revenue in the markets that we are part of. In product evangelism, again, we went after scale. A lot of customers. Today we have 500 customers that visit our office in Bangalore and China. And also, we take that on the wheel as well to reach out and spend time with the customer in their place with our engineers. And also events, a lot of events, customer-focused events, and EMC forums. If you look at our field events today, all the demos, all the technical conversations are not conducted by our pre-sales folks, but our product engineers. So that's the kind of deep connection we have been building. The second bucket of activities, deeper engagement with our customers. If you look at today, I can quote examples, the kind of wins we have been able to create as a result of our participation that EMC sales folks couldn't do in the past. Today we have a large customer right here, a global customer in fact, and partner as well, large engineering, healthcare, industrial conglomerate globally. We had a conversation around bringing all of our assets, product assets, our own internal IT assets together, have a conversation around how they can transform their IT from the current state to private cloud, hybrid cloud, and stuff like that. With that, last week, we were able to close a deal for our sales. And similarly, the same kind of conversation with a large telco in the Middle East. And also, totally different set of architectural conversation. A large, actually not a large, the stock exchange in Singapore. With them, how they can transform their application architecture to become more digital oriented with their end customer. And in fact, we took the lead in helping them build the whole solution. So that helped those kind of deeper engagement at customer, for customer, to solve problem that they couldn't solve without deeper engagement with a technology company like ourselves that can take time to understand their problem, helping them solve it. And also open innovation with co-creating with our partners as well in the market. Those are the kind of engagements we get into in through this bucket of activities. The strategic bets, again, you can't do too many of it. We have two to talk about. One is what we call Center for Transformational Innovation. I'll talk in just a minute more about it. And the second one is Partner Solution Innovation Center. And given the large technical background, the depth and breadth that we have, we thought this is the right thing to do for our company to have a deeper conversation with large SIs that are resident here, and how can we take our conversation upstream with them and co-create solutions for the market with them. What if we think about the CETI, the Center for Transformational Innovation? If you look around the world, 2/3 of the world had same set of problems. Countries like India. Education is a huge problem. Healthcare is a problem. Of course, infrastructure is also a big problem. There are there are some areas that we can't do anything much about. Infrastructure, for example, as a technology company. But there are a lot of areas we can do a lot about, particularly healthcare and education kind of thing. What are we focused on in this? Develop deep insights through this, taking a research-oriented approach, and work with the partner ecosystem and create a platform for them to develop solutions faster. And look at large-scale, nation-scale problems and how we can solve that using technology. And we chose healthcare, how we can solve large healthcare problems using third platform. Prasad talked a lot about wearable technologies, what it can do to solve bigger problems in healthcare. Healthcare, again, Prasad highlighted a lot of the issues in healthcare. These are some of the metrics, if you look at healthcare, how the difference between developed nation and developing nations. Mortality rate, doctors per 1,000 people, hospital beds. Look at the gap, huge gap, for example, between India and US. But that's the same story across all developing nations and developed nations. If you roll forward, look at the future, how the demand is growing, how the supply is looking. The supply-demand gap is widening if you look at the numbers. For example, doctors. By 2020, the estimate is we need in India 2.2 million doctors. But the supply side could only create 1 million. Okay? The traditional ways of solving this problem, in about 10 years, can we create 1 million doctors in India? Can we create so many hospital beds? It's not going to work out. The brick and mortar approach is not going to work. Therefore, we think technology is a way to solve the supply gap issue. And therefore, yes, not all of it could be solved by one company. It's an ecosystem issue. We are working with the ecosystem on two solutions. One is called CPHM, Comprehensive Primary Healthcare Management Solution. And the second one is LifeCare. How can we bring in technology to help build solution to through preventive healthcare. So if you look at the primary healthcare scenario in India, so the real issues are, one, first of all, the infrastructure, huge infrastructure issue. There is a talent issue there. It's not consistent across all primary centers across India. The same level of talent is not available. And it is not upgraded all the time. And therefore, the quality of the service suffers, and not every village has a primary healthcare center. And then, since it is predominantly delivered through public services, the governance issues, right? So how technology can help solve this problem? Of course, universal health care, the basic thing is missing. The second thing is how you can use mobility to deliver solutions that also addresses the skill issue, and how you can use cloud to help achieve scale and reach. And big data, of course, helps us with better planning, better proactive healthcare measures as well. So before we move on to EMC Life Care, the solution that we have developed with the ecosystem is going live in a month from now in 5 villages, covering 25,000 people. Okay? The next one, EMC Life Care. This is more about preventive or proactive healthcare. If you look at the chronic disease, 70% of all healthcare costs is going towards addressing chronic diseases. And it is the major cause of death in APJ and perhaps throughout the world as well. And also, as a result of the aging world, healthcare cost is also going up by 17%. And it warrants us to think about how technology can help address this problem. That's what EMC Life Care is about. And it is focused on, of course, managing the risk, taking a patient-centric view and bringing preventive health care, and moving away from curative to wellness, and also providing more proactively information-centric health care, and more counseling, and connecting the patients and doctors together using third platform technologies. The demo. I have a small video to talk about the solution in real scenario, how it works. And as the video comes up, this solution went live with the hospital chain that has headquarters in Hyderabad yesterday.
Oh, Ravi, I completely forgot my doctor's appointment. At this rate, I'm definitely going to have another heart attack.
Didn't I have an appointment with Sudha Prakash? I wish my patients would follow my instructions properly.
Prevention is better than cure. That's why healthcare providers look for ways to adopt new models of care, but they have to battle with increasing costs. There is an urgent need to contain chronic diseases, increase access to care, and reduce the burden of disease. EMC Life Care is just what the doctor ordered. Sudha had been recently hospitalized for cardiac surgery and has other ailments.
How are you feeling?
Oh, much better.
See, there is a new care plan to monitor your health remotely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they even send you reminders.
That's wonderful.
Would you be interested?
Why not?
Okay, you're Sudha Prakash.
Yes.
The doctor logs into the physician's portal and registers her for the cardiac monitoring care plan. He prescribes her medication and other treatment. Now Sudha doesn't worry about missing any medical checks. The care plan reminds her when a monitoring is due. She can view her vital medical signs, chat with the physician, and take her blood pressure reading, all from the comfort of her home. MedHub transmits patients' vital medical data into the cloud and is secured by EMC RSA. Oh, Sudha's blood pressure seems to be high. The system generates real-time alerts based on the vital medical readings. The built-in intelligence engine analyzes different kinds of patient data and recommends the care coordinators to intervene appropriately. In consultation with the physician, the care coordinator schedules an appointment with the patient. He asks Sudha to collect her ECG readings. He monitors them in real time and provides online consultation and health advice. EMC Life Care is powered by industry-leading EMC platforms and EMC Federation of Companies that comprises EMC Information Infrastructure, VMware, Pivotal, and RSA.
You must be asking this question, EMC being a technology company, why is it getting into healthcare solution. Our point of view here is, if you look at all the strategic bets, we don't want to start another product line to compete with our global product lines. We look at opportunities to help extend the reach of EMC in alignment with EMC's vision and its aspiration in the marketplace by filling gaps, by extending, filling the gaps and also extending and helping it to be more relevant in the markets where it wants to be a leader in the future. Markets like India, China, and the other developing nations, Africa, for example. And for it to happen, we got to associate ourselves to problems that are relevant in those markets for us to be a thought leader. And that happens through us taking the lead in understanding the problem space and the core technology areas that we are proponent of, cloud, big data, what they mean to those markets, how it can help solve those problems. That's the gap that we seek to bridge through our strategic bets. And also, how do you make it very sustainable, really? Is it one-off? So to make it sustainable, to make it have a deeper impact with our field sales organizations, we have created a layer. Yes, of course, we don't own the customer. Our geo sales teams and our alliance teams own. So we create a layer of business development managers, product managers, program managers focused on that relationship, taking all the requests or opportunities and look at which one are more transaction oriented, which one are opportunities for us to have a deeper engagement, taken through an internal process. Of course, the foundation layer is all the existing teams that we have and them coming together could contribute to solving these problems. And why should we do that? What is in it for the product teams? Yes, historically, if you look at it, we create a lot of great engineering teams. The question to ask is, have we created product leaders? Have we created business leaders? And to me, engineering excellence is not just, delivery excellence is not just about looking at the bug rate or code quality. It's also about what kind of higher order value we create for the company through the kind of scale and organization that we built. And that's not going to happen without knowing the market, customers, and competition. And it is a virtuous cycle. And our organizations do benefit with the R&D teams getting involved in the market, and that is also helping the R&D teams moving up in the food chain. With that, thank you, Zinnov, and thank you for your attention.